160, 160, спит 80, 160.
You know, it's going to be a new step for me. I have not boxed at 168 before, so I will base my decision on the result. And don't forget that I have 3 belts at 160.
He seems angry at you, but it feels like you should be angry at him because most people thought you won the first fight. The second fight was a lot closer. How important would it be for you to finally earn a victory over someone that you believe you defeated twice before?
Я не должен быть злым именно на него. То есть я делаю свою работу, он делал свою работу, потому что боксеры делали свою работу. Как нас оценили, то есть какой результат мы получили, так и есть. Я просто по своим ощущениям, по тому, как я понимаю бокс, я чувствую, что я не проиграл в боя, и из-за этого я чувствую себя очень комфортно.
It's not that I supposed to be angry at him. I did my job in the ring. He did his job. It's a judge's decision. But I honestly believe that I did not lose both fights. So that's the answer.
And does it frustrate you that you had to wait? That you had to wait, for almost 4 years for the trilogy?
Да, мы действительно долго прошли, то есть есть только можно много аргументов привести, да, вы все знаете, почему, то есть вы все знаете, какие отговорки. Но опять же, это есть и плюсы, и минусы, с моей стороны, плюсы с минусами будут с его стороны, почему это так долго было, скажу равно, то есть если этот бой был бы 4 года раньше, он был бы намного интереснее в плане, то есть по горячим следам, но он не был готов на тот момент. Сейчас он позицию поменял, ведет себя так, то есть первую пресс-конференцию, он показывает, кто он есть на самом деле.
Of course, you hear a lot of explanations, you hear excuses, it's good and bad for both fighters. Of course, I believe that should this fight have taken place 4 years ago, would have been a more exciting fight. But see, maybe he was not ready back then. Now he's ready. He believes that he is angry at me, and you heard him what he said during the press conference in Los Angeles. So we'll see.
Gennady, you've been in the ring with a lot of great fighters. Would you consider Canelo the best fighter you ever fought?
Наверное, вот правильно, спасибо за то, что вы оцениваете моих оппонентов. Да. То есть они все разные, поймите, бокс он же не просто какой-то, они все разные, они все очень неудобные. Многие из них были обязательными претендентами, либо чемпионы. Это говорит о их статусе. Канело однозначно. Я не скажу, что он прям самый лучший, но он другой. То есть он другой, и он на самом высоком уровне, но опять же показывает практику, что и он проигрывает. То есть опять же, не сказать, что он самый лучший.
Thank you for looking at my opponents, and indeed they are all different. Some of the opponents were very awkward, and I had champions as my opponents. I had mandatory challengers, and I would not say that Canelo is the best. He's a tough opponent, of course. He's a very difficult opponent, but as you can see, he loses as well.
So then I would have to follow up and ask you, who was the best guy that you ever fought in your career? If it's not Canelo, then who is it?
Я думаю, это была любительская карьера, то есть есть ряд ребят, с кем я боксировал на те, которые не пришли к самому. То есть те именно боксы знали гораздо больше, и их навыки в боксе были различимся.
I'm talking about the number of amateur boxers during my amateur career who did not turn professional, but their boxing skills, their strategy in boxing was paramount.
Которые за 3 раунда тебя разбирали так, что у тебя не было шансов.
Yeah, it took them like 3 rounds to figure you out and to find the strategy against you and to leave no chance for you to win.
Gennady,
As a champion, you have a platform to speak from. What are your feelings about the war in Ukraine?
Вы как чемпион можете высказываться по поводу войны в Украине.
Знаете, как бы напишу вот так, что это однозначно трагедия, все, что происходит сейчас, глобально. То есть я немножко с другой стороны, но это не свое оправдание, свое, скажем так, взгляд со стороны, даже глобальной трагедии. Взгляд со стороны, то есть это не меняет мое мнение, не меняет то, что сейчас происходит, это просто трагедия.
Of course, it's a tragedy, without any doubt. It's a global tragedy for the entire world. I'm looking at this like from my standpoint, and what we see there is very tragic.
Gennady,
Who would you say is responsible for that tragedy?
Если кто-то был бы конкретно виноват, наверное, точно было понятно, знаете. То есть, мне тяжело, раз мы все столько в этом участвуют, значит, то есть, не мне рассуждать об этом, такие глобальные вопросы, я не политолог, чтобы сказать, но однозначно это не один человек.
I'm sure that those who are to blame for that will have to answer before the entire world for their actions. I'm not a political scientist, so I'm not going to discuss that, to make any conclusions. I'm just saying that it's a global tragedy.
Gennady, do you feel you've been disrespected over the last couple of years since the second fight? A lot of people are saying it's not the same. Triple G, when all you've done, with the exception of the Deverenchenko fight, is do what Triple G does and that's stop all your opponents?
Ваш адрес, да, из-за этого, из-за того, что у вас не было достойных соперников, кроме Деревянчика.
Знаете, даже сторона бизнеса, то есть это сторона бизнеса, кто-то есть, проект один, и им занимается. Ну, то есть, много же того, что поменялось со второго боя, потому что было же HBO, было же телевидение, потом все переключилось на DAZN, это уже DAZN преследует другие интересы в плане со стороны бизнеса. Ну, то есть это же надо понимать.
Well, it's just the business side, and you know that this my second fight with Canelo took place on HBO. After that, the situation changed, moved to the zone, and the zone has a different view on how to do business with boxing. So that's the answer.
Gennady, I know you don't care about what anybody says about you, but you're a Hall of Fame bound fighter, one of the best middleweights ever. You've never been an underdog in any of your fights. At this point, you're an underdog against Canelo. Again, I know you don't care about what anybody says, but does a part of you feel, I don't know, angry, upset, and just want to prove everybody wrong that, no, I should be favored over Canelo, I did beat him twice, and nobody should be favored over me?
По-другому относиться, что вы имели преимущество в первых двух боях, и должно быть преимущество в третьем бою, что люди неправильно оценивают.
Конечно, я думаю, что есть часть заблуждения у людей, да. То есть взять даже последний бой. Последний бой Канelo проиграет. Он в данный момент имеет больше поражений, чем я. То есть отталкиваясь от наших двух последних боев с ним, да. Сравните. Понятно, возраст или еще что-либо. Или то. Ну, каждый верит в то, что он пытается себе придумать. Меня это не беспокоит на самом деле.
Of course, a lot of people have illusions, and you can see that he just lost his last fight. If you watch closely our first two fights, you will draw the right conclusions. Of course, many people say things about my age, that it's different right now, but I'm not concerned about that. doesn't bother me at all.
Gennady,
Speaking
did you,
of age, if you were to win on September 17th, what's next for you in a new weight class as the champion?
Вот это вот if, как бы открывает очень много идей не только у меня, но и у людей, кто занимается на дозоне этим видом спорта. И я думаю, if он вырастет, он станет таким большим, и откроет возможность для определенных других взглядов на бокс.
Well, I believe that if word gives a lot of opportunities, opens up a lot of opportunities for the zone, for example. If I deliver a defeat to my opponent, there will be a different perspective on the future fights, on the offers that I might receive.
do you think the Ryota-Murata fight was ideal preparation for Canelo?
Ну, прям подготовка к этому бою, это неправильное название. То, что Ryota Murata был отличный бой с ним и он держит меня еще в боксе, скажем, да, что это действительно так.
Well, I wouldn't call it the preparation for the Canelo fight. It would not be the right way to say. But the fight with Murata was an excellent fight, and it kept me in a shape and allowed me to get ready for that fight, to train properly, and to continue in boxing.
Obviously, Canelo is the number one guy on your mind. But, when you go up to 168, there are other guys like David Benavidez. I know you sparred him a lot in the past. Do you kind of look at guys, you kind of look at him sideways, like, okay, I may end up fighting him?
По поводу других, например, Benavidez, думаете ли вы, что возможно поединок с другими соперниками?
Я думаю, однозначно возможно, опять же, вот это вот интерес, опять же, да, промоушена, то есть этой компании, каких, если он перерастает каких-то, то есть здесь ограничений нет, здесь больше выбора, в ком заинтересован, то есть она же возможность всегда есть, почему-то сейчас не происходит. Но надеюсь, что действительно оно приоткроет многие двери.
Well, of course, there is a possibility for those fights to happen. It depends on the promoters. It's how they view the business side of that. And there's no limit. Of course, those fights can take place if all sides are willing to do that.
What would you kind of say is the biggest difference from you now and the first time when you fought Canelo?
Что наибольшее отличие от вас сейчас, вас сегодняшнего и тогда 4 года, когда вы с Канело встречались?
Знаете, наверное, опыт, тот опыт, когда ты веришь только в справедливость, тот опыт, когда ты горишь, то есть от боксирования, ты пытаешься боксировать и быть лучше. Сейчас ты на это все смотришь и осознаешь, что в каких-то вещах ты заблуждался, что все, то есть каждое время делать свои изменения, просто с того времени прошло много времени, и много что поменялось.
I would say, first of all, my experience. When back then I believed that all I needed to do is to box, and I believed it in the just decision. Right now, I look at things a bit differently. I learned that lesson, and I think that gave me a new perspective in life.
With that new perspective,
I was going to ask Jonathan.
no, okay.
No, I'll ask Jonathan real quickly. This is your first go-around at this with the Canelo thing. Watching those fights from the outside, now looking in, are there things that you saw that you feel that you can tighten up or improve on that can make the results any different in your favor?
I think there's always things the fighter can improve upon, and watching the fights, I'm just looking at different adjustments I may have called out, or may not have called out. I don't know, but this version of Triple G, I believe will well, I think he would be able to make those adjustments.
And
because both fighters are different than it was when they first fought each other.
And real
Both
quick,
of them are different.
and does camp change a little bit, being A, a new weight, and B, plus 40 years old now, where you guys do anything different?
I think the only people that's worried about his age is the media. I don't even think other opponents is worried about his age. You know, so in my opinion, I don't think it's a difference. I'm not worried about it. I worry about when I see the slowdown, then I will acknowledge it. But as of right now, as long as he stay motivated and he's working his butt off to accomplish a goal, I don't see no reason to pull him back and start discussing how old he is and this and that. But like I said, I think this fight, both fighters are different coming into this fight. Since they fought 4 years ago, they fought twice, and now they're coming back. I think both fighters are different, and I think that's what's going to make it an even better fight.
Canelo keeps saying he's going for the knockout, meaning he's going to be really aggressive. Do you think he's tipping his hand a little bit, or do you think it's maybe a little smoke and mirrors? What?
I think it's the same thing you just said. That's what he said. I mean, what can you say? That's what he said. Will he do it? That remains to be seen. But that's what he said. So we all got to do the same. I got to do the same thing you do. I got to wait and see.
Do you find it pretty interesting that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but a number of people are saying that, they're probably picking Canelo by stoppage when Canelo never been, Triple G's never been down, Triple G's never been hurt, ever. He has about 5,000 amateur fights. He's fought a lot of big punchers. He's never been hurt, but all of a sudden everybody's saying that Canelo's going to win by stoppage. What do you make of that?
I make nothing of it. I heard a lot of predictions in the sport of boxing. I heard a lot of predictions concerning the weather. They said it's gonna rain, then it don't rain. You got an umbrella for nothing. So predictions is something that happens in the sport. It happens in life. Everybody want to predict something. But the only thing that really matters is what actually happened, the facts of what actually happens. So that's one thing. How will he come out? Will he come out like he said he's coming out? That's something that we have to see. But the goal is, no matter how he comes, no matter which way he approaches Triple G on the night of the 17th of September, G will be prepared for it.
Gennady, when I asked Canelo to kind of rate your punching power, he said that you hit just as hard as Bivol. And you only fought Canelo at 160, and he's comparing your power to a guy that he fought 2 weight classes above. Is Canelo the hardest puncher you've ever fought? And if he's not, who was?
Я испытывал его только в 160, да, то есть все, что говорит о 160, скорее всего, я скажу, что он был более быстрый, наверное, удары более быстрые, то есть, быстрые комбинации, видно тяжелый, короткий, нокаутирующий удар, то есть, этого не было, вы и сами видели, то есть его чисто не привело столько эффекта. Последние бои показывают, что он действительно опять же, это последние бои, это другие оппоненты, это другой уровень. Есть ряд заблуждений, да, то есть, когда ты говоришь о том, что твоя сила выросла, и ты готов боксировать 91, побить Усика или побить еще кого-то, то есть немножко надо на землю опуститься и быть, то есть чихнуть человека.
Well, I fought Canelo at 160, and I could say that he was a faster puncher, he delivered faster combinations, but I wouldn't say that those were like power punches, knockout punches, and you saw that. You saw his like clean shots that brought no result. But of course, he's different, he's in different weight class right now, but him saying that he can go to 190 and beat Usyk, come on, get back to reality, all right?
So who was the hardest puncher you ever fought?
Кто был самый сильный из ваших соперников?
I forgot. You know, like a joke.
Man, he never been knocked down, so it's hard to say. Like, you know, he haven't been hurt, so who's gonna hurt him if he haven't been hurt?
Everybody's tough.
You know, yeah.
But there had to be somebody where, like, kind of like when you fought Willie Monroe, you was kind of just like egging him on to punch you. But there had to be somebody where you were just like, okay, this kind of hurt.
There haven't been nobody. Everybody, he told everybody the same thing. Come on, and they came and they got hurt.
Gennady,
Ну, поверьте мне, все умеют бить и все попадали практически. Мне тяжело, как Джонатан правильно говорит, мне тяжело прям оценить 100%. Тяжело никогда не было.
All my opponents knew how to punch, and believe me, they punched hard. But like Jonathan said, I was not hurt, I was not knocked down, so it's hard for me to, I don't know, to rank them.
Could you have, you know, this fight was supposed to happen, I think, maybe 4 years ago. So I think it's safe to say there's no guarantee that it would have happened. Would you have been able to retire, say, if this fight never came about? Would you?
4 года назад, а вот если бы это вообще не состоялся, думаю, что вы могли бы без этого боя закончить карьеру? Или это обязательно?
Абсолютно я в этом не уверен, что я бы и без этого года прекрасно закончил карьеру, что, скорее всего, было, что я прекрасно. Это никак не относится к Просто этот бой принесет окончание моей карьеры более финансовую сторону. Наверное, это какой-то бонус будет.
I never felt that I needed the third fight in order to retire. I could have my career and be happy with my career even without the third fight with Canelo. But of course, this third fight will help me retire from the financial standpoint. It will be a nice bonus.
Canelo says that he doesn't think that you like him. What are your thoughts on Canelo as a person?
Canelo считает, что вы не
У меня даже такие вопросы, они даже эмоции не вызывают. Я на самом деле не думаю, то, что я его люблю или не люблю. Люблю. То есть, ну, может, некрасивая девочка, чтобы я ее жену люблю. Вопрос в чем?
Well, you see, your question did not even bring any emotions on my part. Like, I don't even think about him, like him or not like him. He's a not good-looking girl for me to think. I have a wife. Yeah, I have a wife. I love my wife. I think about her. I don't think about him.
Last question, guys.
Gennady, is it okay if I ask you a prediction for something? Like we all know, we have like a really great boxing mind. But could you give us like your thoughts on who do you think will win the upcoming fight? Well, supposed upcoming fight between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. I know you're focused on Canelo, but could you tell us who you think is going to win that one?
Я думаю, что выиграет бизнес-сторона, то есть промоутеры выиграют с этого всего, и люди насладятся этим боем. То есть эти бои обязаны, должны быть, и я надеюсь, что они случатся так же, как и наш бой с Канело. Тяжело сказать, кто из них выиграет. То есть мы оба выиграли. То есть мы, поверьте, любой исход, то есть мы останемся выигравшими. Если мы останемся живы, здоровы, мы останемся выигравшими. То есть я считаю, что немножко по-другому. Люди заслуживают такие бои, их надо проводить. Я думаю, что выиграли только зрители.
I believe that boxing fans will win, definitely, and promoters too. Though fights like this need to happen. It's for the love of boxing, and if you take our fight, both of us will win. If we don't get hurt, if we stay healthy, we both win, and of course the fans will win. It's for the fans.
Gennady, I can't let you go like that. I can't let you go like that.
Come on, man. Just
like you don't have to pick a winner, but just who would you lean toward in that fight? I mean, you would know who would you lean toward?
Well, yeah, both are great fighters.
Both, you know, just say I respect both.
Exactly. But Crawford by far is the better finisher when it comes to hurting somebody. But both guys have the equal opportunity to win. But who you gonna give the edge to? You give the edge to Crawford because he's the better finisher. When he's looking to hurt you, he's looking to destroy you. But both fighters are good.
I don't know exactly who wins. I respect both. For me, more close style, like Crawford style. Because I'm a little bit like not like Crawford size, not just I like more his style, you know, like close to me, you know, like for
closer
me, like
to my heart.
to my heart, like, you know, like great, more great, you know, just sometimes you.
It's really hard to choose. Got you. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks.